Hello, welcome back to Portugal. It's question time, and so we're going to answer another question today in this video, and it's a big one. Are we rich? Do we work? How do we make money? Where does our income come from? All sorts of things relating to those topics. We're going to break it down for you and talk about all of those things. But since this is a finance related question, and Kylie is the one who knows about all the finance stuff, let's go and find her and ask her.
We have no olives.
What?
We have no olives. So we won't be getting rich selling olive oil or olives.
No get rich quick scheme around here.
No.
So, are we rich?
So, there was a comment a little while ago that described us as rich layabouts, which I found highly amusing. We're definitely not layabouts. We have a
Speak to yourself.
we have a rich lifestyle.
Not financially rich, but rich as in full of experience.
Yes, enjoying life to its fullest. But yes, no, we're not rich. We did, however, plan to be financially able to do this very comfortably. And I guess that's really what we're going to talk about today, is where our money comes from, what we did, and how we lined it up before we got here.
And for the benefit of anyone who doesn't know what all this is, a couple of years ago we left London to move to Portugal to buy a wreck of a house with a bit of land so that we could build a new life for ourselves.
And we're very much still building that. It's going to take a long time.
Well, we literally have buildings that are falling down that need rebuilding.
Yeah. But let's talk about the money.
Let's.
So we have multiple income streams that we built before we arrived here. So our journey to get here was actually a 10-year plan that evolved a little bit over time. But one of the biggest components of that was the money. How do you afford to, first of all, buy something and then afford to live here and be able to do all the things that you want? I don't work. I didn't work when we left London. And by work, I mean I don't have an employer. I don't have a normal job. I do work on our income streams, but it's not like a paid normal job, 9 to 5, etc., etc.
We work on our terms.
Yeah. And so when we decided we wanted to create a different life for ourselves, we set about one of the biggest things is obviously how do you afford it? And then we've been using some of that 10 years to build those income streams. So when we arrived, we had a couple of different income streams. We bought some rental properties. So if you've watched one of our other videos, you'll have seen that we did a couple of renovations of our home, and when we sold those, there was some excess cash, and so we used that to buy some rental properties.
In the UK?
In the UK. So that brings us some income. During that 10 years, we also built up a website, and on that website, there are some affiliates, and so those affiliates pay us some money for sending them customers. And there was, when we arrived, advertising also on that website that we also got paid for. Do we have some other? I mean, Guy was still working at the time when we moved over here. So that's 4 different streams of income.
We also have pensions. It might be a good time to mention those.
So, yeah, it was a separate question someone's asked is, do we have pensions? Are we prepared for later in life? So the reason that we bought the properties way back when was actually to act as our pension. Don't want to rely on a state pension, but we also do have private pensions. They're not particularly big, but when you have a small cost of living because you've moved somewhere that's relatively affordable, they will be more than sufficient for us in the future. So the properties I self-manage from Portugal do take some work, dealing with the tenants and all of the legislation type stuff that I have to do with. The other the two sources of income that come from the website we run, don't really take very much work.
Not anymore, but we built it up over about 5 years.
It took a long time, and we paid writers and all that, so we invested a lot of money into that to begin with. But now it doesn't take very much work at all, if any. Some months I go by and do nothing on that. They're kind of passive, but they involve some work, but it doesn't require constant work, and we can do it on our own time frame as and when we need it. Do you want to talk about your work?
So yeah, when we moved here in, what was it, September or August? August 2020, we moved on a Friday, and on the following Monday, I started a new job or a new contract doing some online teaching with a big corporation in the UK. And I did a few weeks of that, followed by a few more weeks with a different client, and then I did a little bit more work for the rest of that year and a little bit of last year as well. But what we found was, because our lifestyle had changed so much, it was actually very challenging to context switch between doing tech industry, online teaching, and doing renovation and gardening and preserving and winemaking and olive oil tasting here in Portugal. And so it was kind of weird. And because we had lowered our cost of living so much, we actually realized that I didn't need to continue to do all that work and to continue to have this kind of weird split focus and context switching all the time, which was wonderful. So I also do not work anymore in the traditional sense of the word. I guess you could say that making these videos is work, because it definitely takes a lot of time, but it's very much working on our terms, and we can very much fit it in around all the other things that we're doing.
So I don't work, and Guy doesn't work. And we came here with some income streams that we'd set up prior to coming here, and it was all nicely planned. Unfortunately, in the first 4 or 5 months of being here, we lost one of those income streams. I always say expect the unexpected. That was definitely unexpected, but we managed to recover, and we're now kind of back to the same level of income that we were when we arrived. And this is why we have multiple income streams, because if one were to fail or disappear completely, then we would still be okay. And there was a question actually when we did our cost of living video about how that was a really tight budget. So in our world, what we spend, i.e. our budget, is not equal to our income. Our budget is just what we need to live on, and our income is the money that we've put in place to come in every month. We don't spend all of it, and that cost of living budget doesn't obviously cover the renovation costs and all the infrastructure that we're putting in place. And so that the difference there between our budget and our income is kind of what we have left to spend on this project and holidays and whatever else. But our general rule in life is spend less than you earn, then you always have enough money. And I think by most people's standards, what we earn is probably not in the category of rich by any means, but it's way more than we actually need, which is quite a privileged position to be in. Again, took 10 years to get here, but that is why it looks, I think, to some people like we're rich layabouts, because we've got everything in place to support the lifestyle that we're trying to build for ourselves.
So things have definitely changed since we arrived about almost 2 years ago. We came here with a website with ads and affiliate income. We had a property portfolio, and I was working. Now we still have that website, and it still has affiliate income, but no ads. We make money through making videos. We still have the property portfolio, and we've added a secondary stream to what we're doing here with the videos, which is the Make Do Grow Club. It's been running for about a year, and it's a membership site, essentially. It's for people from all around the world who are doing something similar to us, building a new life for themselves, and all kind of coming together and sharing and supporting and learning together, which is really, really cool. It's a really nice, friendly, open, supportive group of people, which is fantastic. And whilst there have been some changes in our income streams since we got here, we're actually working on other ones as well. In fact, the thing that we're working on at the moment is something within the Make Do Grow Club for our existing members. And it's like a program that will guide people through doing something similar to what we did, building a new life, maybe in another country, but involving all of those important things, like getting really clear on the kind of thing that you want, the new life that you want, getting all the finance and the money stuff in place, working within your constraints and any obstacles you might need to deal with, and then of course making a plan to actually make it happen. So this is something that we're going to be starting in September. So if you're in the club by mid-September, you'll get access to this included in the membership.
We don't like to sit still, if you may have noticed. So we're always looking for opportunities to use our brains and our intellect. And so we will continue in the future to find opportunities, build on income streams, serve our higher purpose of inspiring and sharing, and getting other people to, be that person in the world that they want to be. And that's a big part of our club as well. But also a big part of why we do YouTube. So I imagine in the future there will be more workshops and inspiring people to make soaps and wine and maybe beer, though I don't drink beer.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Things are always changing around here. I'm sure things will change a lot more in the future, but that's what kind of keeps it interesting. Speaking of interesting things, it's time to show you something else, something completely unrelated to income streams, but something very much related to making, doing and growing, although more making than growing. Kylie's been working on a cool crochet project and she's going to show it off to you. In case you're confused as to why she's going into a tent to bring this out, we live in the tent off-grid whilst we are renovating our house, which you might just be able to see behind me.
Nigella, have to bring the table with me because it's a slightly large project. So I started teaching myself crocheting last January. I made a blanket, a hat, because Guy washed my other one. This is my first mosaic crochet project, which is a completely different style of crocheting, which I had to go and teach myself that first, but the results are really good. So if you step back a bit, you'll be able to get this in a shot.
Okay, let's do. Let me just come down here. Oh, look at that.
That's what mosaic crochet produces.
I guess it's a very well named style of crochet.
This has to get attached onto here, and the pattern that I did this off didn't have a zipper in it. It was just you build it and you fill it and then you crochet it and then it's finished, but I want to be able to wash it. This is cotton, so it will wash really well in the machine. So now I have to find a big zipper so that I can, if you can step back again, so that I can open this up, take out the filling and then zip it back again.
I was busy concentrating on filming, so I don't know if you said what it actually is designed to be.
I definitely didn't. Curse the knowledge. This is a foot puff.
So like a footstool?
Footstool, yeah. So when it's filled with cushion materials, it'll look like that, and then you can put your feet up on there.
Very nice. So you're making two, his and hers?
Yeah, and I'm doing the reverse for the other one. So this has got the white is the more dominant color with the blue. The other one is going to be blue with, so the inverse of this. So I have a couple of things to say on this. Number one, if you're in Portugal or in the EU and know where I can buy very long zippers from, please let me know. Number two, for those who are into crocheting, this is really lovely yarn. It's cotton from recycled sources from a company called Welcome Yarn here in Portugal. They ship internationally. It's really nice yarn. So there you go.
Cool, so there we go. We are not rich layabouts, but we do like to make, do and grow a lot of stuff. If you want to do something similar, then definitely check out the Make, Do, Grow Club, because there's a whole bunch of people doing all sorts of really interesting stuff in there. And of course, as we roll out this, this program, we will bring that to members who are in by mid-September. But I think that's enough of our ramblings for today. We'll head off and get some work done so we can bring you another video next week. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.